Everyone, welcome to our 2SLGBTQ plus conversation. A circle.
What we have up for grabs today is 3 gift cards to the SSU swag shop. This is a high quality prize right here.
Thanks for reminding me to change my name. I forgot already.
I got you.
It's Jillian.
Oh my God,
hello.
She's not quite in yet.
Let her get in.
Yeah.
Then we can fangirl.
Then we can fangirl. How about we start in another 5 minutes just to give time for people to come on in?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's probably the best bet.
Yep. And again, in 5 minutes, we can say that if you want to change your name, as I did, because I forgot to put in my pronouns, she, her, hello, Kim here. You can do that as well. And yeah, I hope everyone's having a great day. It is pretty nice outside. I'm looking out my windows right now, and it's a light breeze. The sun is out. I hope that's the same for you guys out there, for everyone out there.
Yeah.
How are you, Gabby? Do you see the sun?
I see the sun. My friend's gonna try to teach me how to ride a bike today, so that's gonna be exciting.
Oh, look at that. How about you, Corrin? Do you see the sun?
It's behind me.
But you see a sunny day?
I'm in the rainbow void right now.
Oh, that's true. So
Love me a good rainbow void.
That sounds like a fun alternate dimension.
Alrighty,
welcome Jillian, Becca, and Sahil.
We'll get started in just a few minutes. We're just making sure everyone is ready.
Yeah, give them time to
great topics of conversation, and it's gonna be super fun.
It's gonna be a safe, warm space.
Amen.
And we have some games and some prizes too. I feel like we never have an event without prizes. Hello, nice to see your face.
So good to see you. Sorry, I was just organizing myself, switching gears.
Hello, beautiful.
All three of us were like, "Oh my gosh, it's Jillian."
No, I'm so excited. It's actually really chilly. I'm gonna grab a sweater. I'll be right back.
I like that space. Looks like Jillian is in a space void as well, Everyone's in their own little void.
Jill always looks so comfortable.
I demand comfort in life.
Man.
Some water, stay hydrated, everyone,
Oh, good point.
Yes.
Good point. This is your hydration check for the day. Yes.
I ran out.
Corrin, that's unacceptable.
Wait, that means. Sorry, good.
I have other beverages that are not so hydrating. But it seems my water is empty. Oops.
That just meant that you were actually drinking. So there you go, drinking water.
I mean, yeah, it's a 40-ounce bottle.
It's no, I will not show.
There
you go. That's so funny. The things that the Zoom tends to bleed into the background. Sometimes you lose what you want to show, or when someone wants to show you the phone, it's just more background image.
Alrighty, are we ready to begin?
Yeah, I guess so. So just once more, if folks want to change their pronoun, put in their pronouns into the chat. So if we talk to you, or then we know which pronouns to use. And yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and get started then. Everyone, welcome to our 2SLGBTQ plus conversation, a circle. And just to let y'all know, this is a safe zone that we're gonna have a safe conversation. It's okay to make mistakes because we're here to learn. And I'm going to actually throw it over to Gabi to be able to give us the land acknowledgement.
Yeah, so as we wanted to start off this event in the most respectful way possible to acknowledge both that Sheridan's campuses and the tragic instances throughout the past couple of weeks throughout the residential schools across Canada, we would like to acknowledge that the land in which Sheridan's campuses reside on has been and still is the traditional territory of several indigenous nations, including the Anishinaabe, the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, the Wendat, the Métis, and the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. Since time immemorial, numerous indigenous peoples and indigenous nations lived and passed through this territory. We would like to recognize that this territory is covered by the Dish with One Spoon Treaty and the Two Row Wampum Treaty, which emphasize the importance of joint stewardship, peace, and respectful relationship. Sheridan affirms that it is our collective responsibility to honor and respect those who have gone before us, those who are here, and those who have yet to come. We are grateful for the opportunity to be working, living, and learning on this land. All right, Kim?
Thank you, Gabi. All right, so again, as I said earlier, this is a safe zone circle, and it will be facilitated by Corrin. I have a little bio here. So Corrin is a 23-year-old trans student who just completed the social service worker program at Sheridan College. Whoop, whoop. He is passionate about queer education and activism and hopes to work in that field in the future. So during his SSW practicum, thank you. He developed the webinar Pronouns and Us to educate others of the importance of pronoun use. So Corrin, if you want to say hello.
Yes, hello everyone, and I actually have to thank Jillian for the name of it. She's the one that came up with the title. I'm very bad at naming things. Most of my stuffed animals as a child were just named whatever color they were.
No, don't knock that. I did the same thing. I literally have a bear named Pinky.
And
Still
yeah,
remember
I'd like to thank everyone for coming to join us.
Thank you very much. And the naming thing, I feel you there. So we're actually going to go ahead and start off with a game, and the game is actually going to be pretty fun. It's a Kahoot game. It's just a little warm up, just to dip our toes in. And also there's a chance to do some prizes, to win some prizes actually as we play. So I'm going to go ahead and open it up, and I will tell you the pin shortly. It is a Kahoot game. So if you want to go ahead and look up kahoot.it. In fact, I can put the link in the chat here. And then also in the chat, I will put on the game pin and screen share so everyone can see the game. So when you're ready, go ahead and put your thumbs up, or just, you can go ahead and yell it out. Be like, hey, I'm ready.
What we have up for grabs today is 3 gift cards to the SSU swag shop. I don't know if you've ever experienced some of the SSU clothing that we have, but it is insanely comfortable. So this is a high quality prize right here.
I feel like Gabi would definitely know that because she has so much swag, so much SSU gear. So you know exactly what you're talking about, right, Gabi?
Oh, I think 60% of my closet is SSU swag.
Impressive. That is very impressive.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. I'm seeing people come in. I like it. Got Beck, Naz, Chloe, and Jillian.
Amazing.
Right. And how many people are we actually? We are 8. Gabi, are you playing as well?
You know what? Maybe I shall.
Yeah, hop on in. I feel like you kind of know the answers, but you know what? Play all the same.
This gets dangerous because Gabi is competitive as all. But I've got to show off my SSU swag. It's the silliest sweater ever, and I love it.
Yes, I love it. Get that Sheridan life. I actually have the same one. It's a really fun shirt.
Oh, comfortable. Oh my God.
It is incredibly soft. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, and I'm in.
Gabi. All right, so I guess I'm gonna do like a quick countdown. If you are in, you're in. If not, we're gonna play, and then you can just watch and learn along. Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, let's go. Let's do this. Kahoot at home. Okay, so this is our 2SLGBTQ plus trivia that we made for this event. What is an example of a common pronoun? So again, common pronoun. Is it she, her, he, him, they, them, or the a? Honestly, and the Kahoot music actually surprisingly is a bop.
It's addicting.
surprisingly really good. Oh, there we go. Everyone answered. All right, 3. Yes, everyone actually got it right. So ZA is an example of a neo-pronoun, which we will get into a little bit later. All right. Oh, and Chloe, number 1 so far. Congrats. Again, there is a prize up for winning. Just saying. Top three. The SSU launched some Pride-themed merch. True or false? I feel like we kind of gave this away. Also, what did we post on socials today, Gabi?
So maybe an announcement of our Pride theme, right?
Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
Maybe.
You'd have to look on our Instagram at _SSU.
I ordered the t-shirt like a day ago.
Yes.
Yes. And actually, one thing I have to say, and I'm really actually super passionate about it, is that we got students of the community to contribute into making stickers for it. So whenever you buy anything, you get a free like little sticker page, and like all like the proceeds from that go towards the students themselves, right? So, you know, like I don't know. I really love that.
Awesome. I'm not on social media, so this is all good news for me. I need these updates.
Yeah.
Again, so if you want to buy some merch, there you go. You know where to go.
I really liked that the t-shirt was like very subtle Pride merch.
Yeah.
Because I think that that's really important for people who may not be out yet, so that they can kind of have something that's not like in your face, like, hey, rainbows.
And it's still like, I agree, the subtle, like, it's like chef's kiss. I like it. What Pride flag is being flown on the Sheridan campuses? As we learned actually in our previous trivia night about these flags. Isn't that right, Gabby?
Yes, we had, and it was, if you want to see a recording of that event, it will be available soon on our YouTube page.
Yeah.
We
currently are flying the progress flags. That's like, it's the most current and accepted flag. And it's so interesting. I think that like we're learning, and as we're learning and developing and transitioning into like this new era, so are like the things that represent us. So, and therefore like the progress flag has come about. Who knows what we're gonna have in the future? I don't even know. I'm excited just thinking about it. All right. Oh, Gillian, I see you coming
on
up.
fire.
Yes.
Jillian, sorry, mispronounced that.
Oh, not at all, not at all.
Okay, Chloe, Gabi, Naz, Beck. It's okay, y'all. There's still chances to win. We're not even halfway through yet. What campus unveiled a Pride bench yesterday?
I gave Jillian the answer to this one earlier.
I got a video about it. I was quick on the trigger there.
Oh, wow. Y'all were so quick to that. Yeah, it's actually HMC Mississauga. It was in combination with Mississauga, and it's pretty cute. It's really like colorful, and I don't know if everyone knows, but TRC actually does have a installation as well. But we have a that's my campus. We have a bridge.
Trafalgar has a bridge.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, some of the colors have faded a bit.
We will repaint it.
They did put like a plastic there, so I wonder if it'll last longer, but yeah, we can always repaint it.
Yeah, I think last time I was there, the orange and the yellow had faded a little.
Ooh. That just means we gotta take better care of it. There we go. Oh, which local drag queen is hosting an event next week? All of these drag queens, actually, we have had host previous events, but one in particular is coming next week on Tuesday. That's gonna be super fun.
That the bingo night?
No, this is actually
on Wednesday.
Oh.
Yeah, so this is actually going to be a drag makeup look. So if you want to learn how to do some fancy makeup, JJ Kings will be there, and he has like, and he also is also open to like conversation as well. So if you guys also want to ask JJ Kings some questions, be there to ask him questions as well. Let's see. Oh, we're staying here. All right. Second last question. To learn more about the Pride at SSU, you can check out the website. Is this true or false? True or false? What do you think, Gabi?
I think it's false. Honestly,
yeah. Not like we have a whole website dedicated to it, right?
No, it's not like we have a whole section of our website devoted to advocacy, which I really highly recommend everybody check out.
Look at Gabi flexing her SSU website knowledge. All right, last question. What is your level of excitement for the drag bingo? This is actually going to be absolutely huge event. So is your answer, heck yeah, super pumped, registering right now, or June 23rd cannot come fast enough? I love it. Everyone has different answers. Yes. This is going to be so fun. So this event is actually happening over a bunch of schools. So everyone's like going to be in on it. And I think it's going to be super fun. And so that was actually the end of our game. So let's see if I can see who won. Nice! Number 3. Number 2, Chloe, and let's see who's number 1. Spotlight. Ah! Congratulations, Jillian! So
thank you.
we will actually be leaving you a little, I'll message you directly and give you a form that you can just fill out with your information, and you will be winning some SSU swag. Hey!
Woo! Sick. Love it.
All right, thank y'all for coming to our, no, not coming to, sorry, to playing my game. We're not done, nowhere close to being done. But Gabby, if you would like to take it away.
Yes. Now, before we go into this conversation, we want to develop a shared safe space. And the way that we're going to do it is through a word collage. I think that's what I'm going to call it. Yeah. So, yeah, bear with me. So I would love for everyone to contribute a word to our word collage, our word cloud. That's a good word for it. Of what's one word you feel of an inclusive space that makes just anything. And I would love to hear your rationalization behind it.
Respect.
Respect. Why the word respect?
I think that we should all be showing respect to each other in order to develop a mutual understanding.
I love that.
Yeah, that's great. Patience is the first thing that came to my mind. Yeah, definitely. You know, everyone can have really good intentions, but things change so fast. Even looking at like the change in pride flags is like everything is always developing. So being patient with each other, I think, is always a really good practice.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think so some people get so wound up within themselves that it's hard for them to accept new changes, that they just like stay in their own current mindset and not willing to just embrace, right?
And in the expansion of that, I guess one word could be flexibility.
Ooh.
Yeah, be open and flexible to new concepts.
Any other words we can add?
If you guys want, also, if anyone wants, also put whatever words you think would fit in the chat as well. You don't have to come on the mic if you're not comfortable with it, but for sure contribute to our little word art that we got going on here. Oh, Chloe said empathy and compassion.
All right.
I think those are very good words. Good words.
And
2 goods for each word.
And a little quick warning, because I feel like I should. Do I remember how to spell everything? No. But are we going to accept me for all my faults? Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes. And to that, I think we should put the word acceptance.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I like to think of creativity as well, because when we're like, you know, making social change, we're conceptualizing something new. And if we're really, you know, stuck in the way things are, we need a little more creativity to imagine something different.
Yeah, I'll just let our words come into play and see how it looks. And then I will put in creativity.
The act is the creativity, Gabby. You bring the creativity.
Look how wonderful it looks so far.
I love it.
I see that there's more.
Look at all these colors. Sorry,
I
go
know.
ahead.
It's great. I just saw that there's more in the chat, and I'm going to put them in right now. We got free.
With an exclamation point.
Oh yes, I'm gonna add that too.
Open.
We have open. We have judgment free. That counts as one word. I love it. And I will, and reflective. Does anybody have any more words?
Kindness.
Kindness. Corrin, why kindness?
Well, I think that we should all just try to be kind. It takes nothing to be kind to others.
It's free.
Kindness
Just like
is
another
free.
word that we have.
Oh, love. Yes,
Oh,
Sahil. I love
absolutely,
that.
yeah.
Love.
I wish I could put the emoji as well, but I don't think I could.
Oh, you can do the bracket and a 3.
Yes.
Yeah.
Old school.
I forget that that's a thing sometimes.
Yes, pre-emojis. Let's do it.
All right. Any last words we want to add in before we completely finish and visualize it? Everyone after the event will get a nice copy of what our safe space word art looks like because it's beautiful. Lovely.
Yeah, and these are some things that we're keeping in mind throughout this whole event as well, and future events.
No takers? Perfect.
Oh, gratitude.
Gratitude. Hold on. I clicked too fast. Just give it a quick
Oh, is it like it's rendering?
rendering. One more, and then
And we're good to go.
we're great to go.
And then after this, Corrin, if you'd like to go ahead with your presentation once we put in gratitude.
Sure thing.
Yeah, you can take it away.
And she, he, they, all of the pronouns are complete. I don't know what's going on with my computer today. They're very slow. They're very slow.
That slow computer. Maybe it's overheating. It is a little bit hot today. You know what I mean?
That's probably it. That's probably it.
It's the heat. Blame the heat.
Look how many words we have created a safe environment with. This is our contract to each other, and just by all of these words being here together and everyone contributing, this is us signing away that we all agree that this is our safe space. And with that being said, Corrin, take it away.
Right, so I'll go ahead and share the infographic so that people have a bit of a visual while I'm talking. So my main work that I've been doing recently has been about pronouns and why pronouns matter. So for a lot of people, they are more than just words. They are an acknowledgement that you see the person you're speaking to as who they truly are, not as how the world may perceive them to be based on their expression. So as most people know, just as a little bit of a refresher, pronouns are identifying words that people use in place of their names. So if you're in a casual conversation, you'd be like, oh, he said this to me the other day. It was really a cool piece of information. I didn't know that before. Or she showed me this really interesting book. I can't wait to read it. Or even, oh, they dropped their wallet. I hope they come back for it. Those are the more common pronouns, and we also have neopronouns, which are less common but alternative gender-neutral pronouns, and we have a little game coming up at the end where we can practice those. Those are going to be things like sie, zir, and zirs, fey, fair, fair, or sie, zem, zir. And next we've got gender identity versus expression, and feel free to interrupt me at any point if anyone's got questions. I don't mind pausing. This is conversation, of course. Gender identity is how someone feels inside, whereas expression is how they outwardly present. So a thing that I like to use as an example of gender expression is drag. You've got drag kings and drag queens who take the idea of masculine and feminine gender expression to the absolute extremes and turn it into an art form. Then we've got cisgender versus transgender. They are both adjectives. You never want to use those as a noun because that's going to be offensive. You don't call someone a transgender, they are a transgender person. So cis and trans are just prefixes. They mean on this side of and across from. So a cisgender person is someone who identifies and feels as the sex they were assigned at birth, whereas a transgender person is someone whose gender identity, how they feel inside, does not align with what the doctor decided that they looked like at birth. So for example, I am a trans guy. And then we've also got non-binary. Non-binary is another trans identity. Not all non-binary people will identify as trans, but they do fit under that umbrella. A non-binary person is someone whose gender identity doesn't fall cleanly within the two boxes of male or female. Gender identity is more of a spectrum rather than a sliding scale line. So someone could, if you imagine a color chart, when you open like Photoshop or MS Paint and you've got the color selector, that's the whole spectrum of rainbow, and you can kind of plot a point anywhere on that. That's more like what it is rather than a sort of scale of dark to light. Misgendering, it's the act of referring to someone using the incorrect identifiers for their identity. This can be done intentionally or unintentionally. If you do make a mistake with someone, the best practice is to just quickly apologize, correct yourself, and move on. If we make a big deal out of it, it kind of puts all of the emotional tax on the person that was hurt, which is not great because that just puts more burden on them. Just correct yourself, move on, commit to doing better in the future. And then I'll zoom in a bit here. So as for mental health, I like to include this because it kind of gives people a bit of an idea here. So queer people in general who are experiencing rejection are 6 times more likely to have high levels of depression. 51% of trans people have been diagnosed with depression or anxiety, and as many as 40% of trans adults have attempted to die by suicide in their lifetime. This number can be more than halved if a trans person or a queer person has a person of support in their life. And gender identity and expression, something that a lot of people don't know, they are protected grounds in the Ontario Human Rights Code. So you do have a right to be identified how you identify. And then this is a bit of an education statistic here. So 71% of trans people have a college or university degree, but 50% have an annual personal income of less than $15,000 a year, which is wild. And then we've got a few tokens of allyship. So you can unlearn. So you want to check your assumptions about people. Instead of just assuming, oh, this person looks this way, so I'm just going to call them this, ask. So when you're introducing yourself to someone, for example, hi, my name is Corrin. I use he, him, or they, them pronouns. What are yours? And just keep in mind that someone's pronouns aren't preferred, they're required. They are who they are. They're not just a preference that you can kind of take and leave if you choose. Taking action. You can display your pronouns in online spaces. So like LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, you can add them to your bio. Instagram actually has an entire section devoted to your pronouns now, which is really cool. I think LinkedIn is working on it, but you can also add it in brackets at the end of your last name if you need to. You can be accountable. So if you're witnessing transphobia or misgendering, don't just stand by and ignore it. You can say or do something about it. Just make sure that the person that you are helping is out, because you don't want to out them if they're not comfortable. And then you can connect. So there's lots of supports that you can access. There's Youthline, which is a service. It's a text messaging service that you can access for queer people. They service people up to the age of 29, and it's run entirely by volunteers from the queer community. Sheridan counseling services are always available. Trans Lifeline is a 24/7 crisis line that is run by trans people for trans people. And we've also got the Trevor Project, of course, which supports queer people in Canada and the US, and Good to Talk, which we have access to through Sheridan as well. And I gave our lovely SSU reps access to a handout that I created to go alongside my webinar that anyone can access if they'd like to find more information as well.
Yep, and we will be adding that link shortly in a moment.
Does anyone have questions while I'm rambling?
Any questions at all, you can even write them in the chat if you don't, again, want to speak, and we will be able to read them out. If not, in the meantime, we do have questions of our own, right, Gabby?
Yes, we do.
Okay, so the one question I kind of had is like, and this is in regards to allyship. So in like a kerfuffle, because I like that word, where you do see a friend of yours, or perhaps even a stranger, in like a little uncomfortable situation, what is like the best way to, as an ally, to assist your friend coming out of that situation?
It would definitely depend on the context of the situation. Like if you see someone that's just being approached and kind of cornered and harassed, one thing that I've seen a lot of is people will go up to the person and just be like, "Hey, I'm your friend. Long time no see. Where are you headed? What's going on?" Kind of just act like you're a friend if it's a stranger. Most people will kind of pick up on that and they'll like latch on as a way out if they're kind of being just pushed in a way that they don't want to be pushed. If it's a friend that you know, and they're in an uncomfortable situation, of course, you could take the same approach, like, "Hey, what's going on, buddy? What can I do to help?" If it's a case of someone's being misgendered, just make sure that they're out. You don't want to out them unintentionally because that can put them in an even more dangerous situation. Like I said, a lot of people do experience rejection in their lives when they do come out, so it can be a bit tricky. But in general, you just want to offer your support. And of course, make sure that you're not doing that at the cost of your own mental health, because you can't pour from a cup that's empty, right?
Oh, that got me. Can't pour from a cup that's empty. Yeah, so like kind of what I'm taking away from that is if like there's a situation, like an immediate situation, coming away from like try to leave the conflict, the area of conflict essentially.
Yeah, if it's an area of conflict, kind of just offer them a safe way out. You can kind of interject. If it's a situation of your friend is kind of just being misgendered repeatedly by someone, correct the person. If your friend is comfortable, if they're out, again, you don't want to be outing people. That's just not cool in general. Reminds me of a funny story I saw. I saw a Twitter post online. Someone's parents were misgendering their trans brother, and they corrected them with an air horn, and they fixed a 2-year problem in like 5 seconds.
That's so funny. This is my bird. Just loud horn. All right. Actually, that's pretty funny way to do it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, just it's the repetition that helps people to learn how to do it properly. And again, like I said, your gender identity and expression is a protected grounds under the Ontario Human Rights Code, and it is also in the Charter of Human Rights of Canada. So you are legally protected. So if it's something that's actively going on over a long period of time, you do have legal protections if it's getting to a point where it is legitimately just harassment.
Right.
That's really good to know. A question I have for you, just because when we start to meet new people, and especially with having so many students, especially when we finally get back to campus someday, don't know when, but when we want to basically ask for someone's pronouns in school or in the workspace, how can you professionally and politely ask for them?
So I always like to suggest to do it as a way of introducing yourself. Never make it a requirement. That can put people who aren't out in a bit of a tricky situation. But when you're introducing yourself, like if you're a teaching assistant or if you're running a group, sort of go like I did. Like, hi, my name is Corrin. My pronouns are he, him, or they, them. And that kind of opens the floor to make people more comfortable to share their own if they feel like it. You can also just add, please share your pronouns if you feel comfortable. And that can help as well. The idea more is to normalize the idea of sharing pronouns because that helps to protect the trans community. So if everyone is sharing their pronouns in like virtual spaces like LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, email signatures, all of that, it makes it so that it's just a thing that everyone does rather than, that person's trans, I can target them.
Completely get that. Does anybody, any of our audience, any of the students have any questions for Corrin?
I believe Chloe.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Actually, this is remarkably timely because I know that Corrin and Jill, you both know that my son's transgender, and my parents are remarkably religious. And so we've known for many years and have provided a safe and supportive space, but my son has never been comfortable telling his very religious grandparents. My parents are coming over on Saturday, and I know that, and he doesn't know that they're coming on Saturday yet because it's just happened like half an hour before this seminar. So now, because I know it's going to come up, and I would like to help guide my son on how to do this. Do you have any resources or suggestions for how to come out to very religious family members that are not necessarily very conservative, right wing, not very accepting people in general?
That can for sure be tricky. Honestly, the best thing that I can recommend would to be to just offer your son as much support as you can possibly give. There are some subreddits that I might suggest. I'll just stop sharing for a second and pull up a link. One that I might recommend to you is there's a subreddit called Ask Transgender. And that's where a lot of people go to look for advice. I've seen parents asking questions and all sorts of things like that.
Yeah, like my husband and I are very supportive. Everybody, like, it's all very.
I unfortunately don't have a lot of like really super conservative people in my life, fortunately. But it's definitely a demographic that tends to be a little bit trickier. I'm dropping a link right here. It's free to make a Reddit account, or you can even use your Google account to log in, I'm pretty sure. But that is a community, it's global. Reddit, it's the internet. But there's a lot of people in the United States, and a lot of people in the south of the United States have very similar experiences like that, and they might be able to offer you a bit more insight.
That's amazing. Thank you. It just came up today. And so I'm having anxiety about it because, of course, I don't want my son to hurt. And I'm more than happy to ask my parents to leave if they're being jerks, because that's fine. Like, I have no problem with, I haven't seen them in a year and a half already. So, you know, none of us have, so it's fine. It's not like a huge loss, but yeah. I'd rather it go smoothly and make sure everyone's okay at the end of the day.
I'm sure that he for sure appreciates all of the support that you give him. And yeah, definitely my biggest recommendation is just be there for him, offer as much support as you can. And if you can correct the grandparents if they're making a mistake, if he's comfortable with that, definitely make sure that he's okay with that coming out. If it's not something he's comfortable with, just do whatever he needs to be feeling supported in that environment.
Absolutely.
And yeah, making a post in that subreddit, they might be able to offer you more targeted recommendations.
Yeah, I was thinking we should just try to see if we can get like a fun, like, what do they call them? Those gender reveal cakes that they do. That I love those so much at those baby parties. And I hate
when I came out to my father, I I literally gave him a chocolate cake with I'd written on it, "Not a girl," and he just looks at it. He's like, "Cool, can I eat this?"
Nice, nice. That's amazing. Good.
That's so funny. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we might have to get them some blue cupcakes or something and just,
Mhm.
you know, I don't know. I'm just trying to think of a way. We were going to do like
It's funny you mentioned
family
that
party
because
online.
the person who actually invented gender reveal parties, it was because she'd had miscarriages every time she tried for a child, and this was her first child that actually made it to the term where they could find the sex, and that child actually ended up being non-binary. So they had another gender reveal party later on when that child came out.
Nice.
So
Yeah,
what you would be doing is actually what the person who created that concept actually did.
that's amazing to know. I love it. Yeah, it's really challenging. It's an interesting place to be as a parent in between two very different, like I know my parents and I understand them, not that I agree with most of what they do, but I also it's an interesting place to be in the center. And so I'm navigating the weirdness of it all as well. So, but it's Jake first always. So, but
Of course.
yeah. So thank you so much.
It warms my heart to hear that. Oh, I love it.
So important. The statistics are terrifying. Like there's, I have one child and I'm keeping him. he's staying safe and he's here and loved and supported no matter what. So
it's wonderful to hear.
Thank you for sharing, Chloe. I have a question that's a little ambiguous if anyone has any thoughts. We talk a lot about, meeting people on their level, like, approaching people on their level. And especially if you're, an ally or a trans person or a family member wanting to, reach out to a heteronormative community or a straight person, like, how do you balance meeting someone on their level if their level conflicts with your identity? How do you meet someone on their terms when their terms naturally want to exclude you a lot of the time? How do you sort of rationalize that? If anyone has any thoughts, that's a big question.
So for me, I am personally not willing to sacrifice any part of who I am for another person. I'm very much, it's like, I'm here, I am queer, take it or leave it. That's your prerogative. So I will generally just exactly like that. If someone wants to be exclusionary, I will call them out on it. And I'm not going to be rude. I always like respect first and foremost, and I will literally tell them like, "Hey, that's not really okay to say, and here's why." And if they want to continue being like that, I typically will just cut them out. I'm not going to keep people that are just going to be toxic in my life. I always try to educate first and foremost. That's kind of my passion, is to help educate people on social issues, whether it be things like climate change, politics, social justice, queer theory, that sort of thing. But if you can bring a horse to water, you can't force it to drink. You can hold its head.
Absolutely.
You can hold its head under. That doesn't mean it's going to take anything in. So yeah, that's usually my approach.
I would like to agree with Corrin from the other side, just as an ally. You said it perfectly. Like, I can help educate. I could try assisting some of the heterosexual side of everybody to just try to unlearn what they have previously perceived and try to see it through a new lens and make sure that they're educated. But if they don't want to kind of just change, there's nothing I can do. If anything, then it's just the same thing. Cut it out.
Mhm. And I would like to have a disclaimer here. There is a difference between just heterosexual people and the straights.
Yes.
Because it's usually people who are just heterosexual are pretty chill and they're open to learning, but there is that extended group that is like straight pride and all that. And that's usually where you're going to run into the problems. Because, for example, you can find straight trans people and they will not look any different from cis het people. And there's also straight ace people, straight aromantic people. You're going to find a lot of people who could be heterosexual within the queer community in some denomination. It's the concept of the straights that is where a lot of that kind of problems tends to occur. I know there was a whole super straight thing that happened a few months ago. Straight people who only date natal people. It was effectively a movement of heterosexual people who wanted to just deliberately exclude trans people because they're not real men or women. And that's the kind of people that you're going to run into those problems with. Fortunately, they outed themselves real well, so you know exactly who to avoid.
But
Yeah.
yeah, just that's the cut right there.
The other thing is you're going to find a lot of really easy identifiers with people who are going to be problematic because, again, correlation, not causation, but they tend to have a lot of the views that are going to be problematic. They'll be under like gender critical, they'll be under like pro-fascism, whatever, all of those not so great ideologies. The ones that you can really educate tend to be the ones who lean more politically moderate, I want to say. They tend to be the more open to education. If you're looking at like far right conservative religious people, sometimes it's a bit of a lost cause.
I think that's what like everyone here is kind of open to is like the learning and everything, and that's I think it's always incredibly important because like as we said earlier, like things are constantly changing, so we're never stop, like there's never a point that we stop learning and developing and thinking and considering these concepts and ideas, because we like there's like the whole idea like the spectrum, so and there's not one solid yes or no answer to things, so it's just yeah, again, like always be open to learning, and that's the best.
And of course, I'd like to clarify, I'm not saying that like don't try to offer education to these people. Of course, like give people the information, provide the information if you can, lead them to resources that can help them learn, but they tend to be the ones that are more resistant to even taking a look into these issues. So it's really just a matter of how much emotional labor are you willing to put into the situation.
I really appreciate you said it here, and I've heard you say it before, Corrin, that like you shouldn't do things at the expense of your own mental health, which I think is really good. People often forget that, like if something is fundamentally important to them, which this is, it feels like you need to take this until the farthest possible conclusion. But when that is a detriment to your own safety and your own health, I think that's so important. So I've kept that in my mind ever since I heard you say that first. Yeah.
You can't pour from an empty cup.
I love that. I did a while ago, around like 138. I did drop in Corrin's handout, and this is I believe you said it has links and also a lot of information.
It's got 2 pages of references. Lots of information, and yeah, so it's on SharePoint. Anyone who has that link can view it. Might be able to download it. I'm not terribly sure, but if anyone wants it, I'll put my email in the chat. You can let me know. I can send it over.
Yeah, and with that, we have like roughly another 10 minutes. So I actually do want to pop up another suggestion of Corrin, and it's the pronoun game. Gabby and I were playing it earlier, and we were actually having so much fun with it. So we're going to play a few rounds of that. And again, Chloe, perhaps this might be a good way to make it a game, play and be playful with it. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. And I can also drop the link as well into this chat in case anyone would like to use it in the future.
It's also hyperlinked in that document as well.
Even better.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and play. And we're gonna start off with something a little bit easier, which I think would be the common pronouns. So we're gonna go with they. And then after that, we'll have an open room and see what other pronoun everyone want to play with.
A good hint is most of the neopronouns will follow the same sort of structure as they, them. So if you're having a hard time trying to figure out which pronoun goes in, think about which they, them pronoun you would put in its place.
That
all right.
really helps.
Yeah, we were struggling a little bit.
Yeah.
But again, let's play. This is going to be our easy mode, and then we'll play hard mode next. So let's go ahead and play. So this is, I guess, are the examples, right? So they really love burgers. Those cats belong to them. Their bedroom is upstairs. Tell me if I'm going too fast. Just be like, Kim, slow down. They're all by themselves. And then are we ready?
Let's go.
Okay. So what pronoun would we put to this? Put it in the chat or like shout it out. And I will type it.
The first thing I thought was I love cheese.
And just say I don't really like
Jillian.
cheese.
So let's put in the chat they. So
Let's try it out. That'd be funny if I tried I. Yeah, so that was right. So it went through, so that was right. Okay, so I called blank yesterday.
Yeah.
Them yesterday. That is blank, not mine.
Theirs.
yeah.
Yep. For a second, I'm like, did I spell that right? They touched the bird blank.
Themselves.
Amazing.
Oh, no, did I spell that wrong? Themselves?
Themselves.
Oh, yeah, it was themselves. Yeah. When I think that, I was like, really playing badminton? Well, I don't know why you touch a bird otherwise, unless it was a pet. I'm in
Petting
love.
birds is fun.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's true. Pets are good. Whoa, pets. Whoa, birds are good pets. I almost said pets are good birds.
Pets are good birds.
Oh yeah, my sentence was strange though. I'm in love with blank.
I'm in love with them.
Yeah,
Come on.
I love it. Blank will take over the world.
See, now I'm thinking I.
I know, I'm just like, yeah.
Confidence right there.
They.
They love blank a lot.
Themselves.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Nice.
Blank feet smell bad.
Ooh,
There.
tell them.
I mean, if it smells bad, you gotta let them know. I think blank hates bananas.
They.
Does anyone here like bananas? I love bananas. I eat them like every day.
I am obsessed with bananas. I've got a bunch in the freezer. I need to make banana muffins or
Yes.
something.
Oh, you can also like make a banana ice cream with some like chocolate. Oof, so
Event.
good. I learned blank pronouns.
There.
Nice.
Ta-da, 100%.
Yay.
All right. So next, so I think that was, that was pretty good. The only one we kind of funked up was the themselves, but it was, well, which one was it? I think it was
Themselves instead of themselves.
yes, that was it.
That's a
So-
pluralization problem. That's a whole nother English.
So
I suggest let's go for a neopronoun.
yeah, so those are the less common ones. And actually, Corrin, if you can actually help us out in how to pronounce all of these before we pick one.
Yeah. So actually, when you click it, it will give you the pronunciation.
Oh, it's right there. Okay.
Mhm.
Z,
I love this.
A. Oh, this one's be like A.
Mhm.
Probably not. Hey, here. All right. This one is Faye. And this one is whom. Whom. Ah, interesting. All right. Which one should we play? Which one should we play with? This will be our last round.
I've never
So,
seen
make it
A
count.
before.
A?
Yeah,
Alright,
I've never seen that
okay.
one.
We'll go with A.
It's
Challenge.
am, air, and self.
A, air, no, AM, air, himself.
Himself.
All right.
Got you.
Okay. I gotta remember how to spell that. Okay. A really loves burgers. Those cats belong to M. Your bedroom is upstairs. A's all by himself. Ready?
Let's do
Yeah.
this.
Okay. Blank loves cheese a lot. Not I this time.
So that's just A, right?
A,
EHA? Like,
E-Y.
It's
E-Y.
just EY.
I'm gonna have to trust them for the spelling. Not my strong suit.
Okay. What we got it. It's EY.
Okay. I called blank today.
M?
I think it's M. I
M?
agree. I think it's M.
Yeah.
Yeah. Corrin's
like
in the background.
Like I mentioned, think of it as what version of they would you put in? This one is pretty easy because it's very similar to they them pronouns.
M-self? Oh, wait, that is not. Oh, wait, I'm not thinking there's themself.
Oh,
Ears?
air.
Ears?
Yeah.
Airs.
Okay.
Ears. Corrin's in the background going like,
So for
Yes,
example, for that
learn.
one, that would be that is theirs, not mine. So that is airs, not mine.
All right.
It's very similar.
They touched the word M-self?
Himself. Nice.
Okay, we're getting the hang of this. I'm in love with
M.
When?
blank will take over the world.
A?
I heard that, Chloe.
Me.
Yeah, A, yeah. A loves, A loves.
M.
M-self?
This one makes me laugh. Feet so bad.
Was air?
Air, that one? Oh, yeah, nice.
Hmm.
Okay, I think blank hates bananas.
A.
Yeah.
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 I learned blank pronouns.
Air.
We did it.
We did it.
These are hard to get my brain around.
It makes
Same,
me feel like
actually.
French class, like conjugating, like je a, tu a, s, il a, elle a, nous allons, vous allez, il est, on te.
Okay, what a flex.
Grade 6 flashbacks.
No,
I'll just drop this link here.
Thank you.
This is a chart that shows you all of the different forms of pronouns compared to, I believe, he, she, and they.
Excellent.
If I remember right, it might just be they, but I think it's all of them. And yeah, it gives you a little bit of a history of the pronouns too.
well, with that being said, that closes off our 2SLGBTQ plus safe chat event for today. We want to thank everyone for coming. I hope you learned a little bit more. The questions that were asked were incredible. Thank you for contributing. I'm excited to share with all of you the word art that we created today as our contract. Just a quick reminder, for the rest of the month, we have still so many events. Corrin's coming back to give us a pronouns workshop. We have a drag makeup tutorial next week. We have drag bingo. We also have an open forum for program deliveries in the fall. So if you know any returning students coming back in the fall, please encourage them to come and be informed of how everything, how the decisions are working. And if they have any questions, this is probably one of the best places to go. We also have tie-dye. Am I missing something, Kim? I
feel like you got everything, so that's why I'm smiling. I'm like, I don't have such a great memory. Good job, honestly, Gabby.
Thank you.
So the Inclusive Communities webinar is next week, I believe next Wednesday. And it's going to be me alongside a number of people from the Building Positive Spaces Committee.
Thank you,
Very
Corrin.
good.
And it's going to be a pretty cool panel.
I'm very excited, and I really encourage both of you to come.
I will make
Absolutely.
them in focus groups next Wednesday all day. So
Look at you working hard though, Chloe. You can say that
I
with a
am.
smile.
Working away.
The content is also going to be put onto Source, I believe,
Awesome.
eventually. So it would be something you could probably go back to look at.
Amazing. That's
This
good.
is wonderful. Thank you, everyone. Like, thank you all
We're
so much
working on
for doing
the
this.
little details for that, but yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Yeah, this is incredible.
Thank you.
We're done.
It's
Have a
really nice to
lovely-
see all your
So
faces
many
again.
great things
That's
like
true.
this going on at the school. Like I can't, it's so great. Like there was a really awesome Indigenous one yesterday. Like, and it was so amazing too. I'm just like, I could just spend all day staring at people from school. It's fantastic. So thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your
I'm
day.
certain we'll see you all again soon. Take
Absolutely.
care.
Bye, Julie.
Bye.
Bye.
That was awesome. Corrin, actually felt like I actually was writing down stuff because I was like, snap, what? And then your example of like gender expression, I was like, that makes so much sense. Like it's interesting that-
I always use drag as an example for that because that's something that especially now is very recognizable.
yeah.
Mhm.
With the prevalence of like RuPaul's Drag Race Canada, all of those things.
Mhm.
It's
And,
very much in the scene, so people can recognize it as like, oh, that makes a bit more sense.